This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
Hey there, listeners. RetroZap has a new listener community on the Discord app, and we want you to join us in some fun discussions about Animaniacs, Star Wars, and other pop culture topics. So come on over to join the party with the hosts of this show, as well as hosts of other RetroZap podcasts. To join, just go on over to discord.animaniacast.com. That's discord.animaniacast.com. We'll see you there.
And welcome everybody to episode 79 of the Animaniacast.
And now, for your dining pleasure, I have prepared this little song.
Welcome once again to the Animaniacast. We're the only podcast out there that is dedicated to the animated television series Animaniacs. And here we explore the series episode by episode. We explore all the cultural references and gags that we can find. And in the end, we give each episode a water tower rating. I am Joey, and joining me once again is my co-host, Nathan.
And one magentic king-size turtle dove.
Across the country, it's Kelly.
I'm eating chocolate cookie dough ice cream.
Delicious, delicious. Of course, right now, everybody just peek behind the curtain. We're recording this episode immediately following our 100th episode, which is, it's so weird to say. This is episode 79, and then last week was our 100th episode. It's weird, folks. I don't, we've had special episodes, but, Kelly has to get her cookie dough intake, when we do these.
I'm always eating when we're doing the podcast, for listeners who probably didn't know, because I mute a lot when I'm chewing.
Well, that's better than a lot of podcasts that I listen to. There are some podcasts I'll listen to, and a person's chewing on the microphone, and then
oh no,
and some people are into that, ASMR audio, but I certainly am not. So, yes. We appreciate it, Kelly. But yeah, whether it's cookie dough ice cream or honeycomb or pretzels, it's there's always the snack of the day.
Yep.
Well, today we're going to be talking about, like I said, episode 79 of Animaniacs, which includes the segments My Mother the Squirrel, The Party, Oh Say Can You See? Or I should say that right. Oh Say Can You See? There. And the 12 Days of Christmas song. Quite an interesting combination of segments right there. But if someone were to ask you about this episode in a few words, what would you tell them, Nathan?
It's Ruegerlicious.
Yes, it was. And Kelly, what about you?
It's like Waiting for Godot.
Well, I've never seen it, so I'll just take your word for it.
I haven't either.
I've seen it on Broadway. With Sir Patrick McGinnis. What is his name?
Patrick Stewart?
Yeah,
Sir Patrick.
And the...
Well, no, I make the reference because I've heard that it's a play where they're waiting for a guy and he never shows up and nothing happens, and
oh, spoiler alert!
About the party.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, double spoiler alert this time, though. It was for Waiting for Godot and the party. Okay, no, we're not going to take it out.
I can't spoil something I've never seen or read.
That's true. Well,
I don't know.
not like I was going to go out and see Waiting for Godot anytime soon anyway, so I really don't care. But anyway, Nathan, tell us, when did this episode first premiere?
Oh boy, okay, so this episode first premiered on Saturday, January 27th of 1996, which it's been about 2 months, I think, since our last episode of Animaniacs, and since then, Father of the Bride Part 2 came out, Jumanji, Mr. Holland's Opus, those were all released in December, and this was just one day after the musical Rent was given its first public performance at the New York Theater Workshop, which is just another day after the creator died, unfortunately, Jonathan Larson, so...
Well, Rent was definitely a very 90s musical, I think. It just has, it just speaks to that. And Jumanji...
You know, it was basically a remake of La Boheme.
Oh, I have no idea. Well, there you go. I just need to know more about the theater. This is why I did not major in theater when I was going into college. I loved it in high school.
It's amazing what one will learn while studying for Jeopardy!
Well, Jumanji, I mean, of course, the sequel just came out recently. I mean, did you guys check out that at all?
Yeah. I saw it twice in theaters.
Twice in the theater?
Well, yeah, I had the movie pass thing.
Oh, that's true. I guess you can afford to do that then. But you haven't seen
But now
it?
you can't see the same movie twice, right?
Yeah, they changed it, so you can only see a movie once. They changed it right when Avengers came out.
How convenient.
Right?
Well, yes. But yeah, it's a good movie. I mean, it goes right up to... it kind of takes off right where the last one left off with, like, the beach and everything, right? So, it...
yeah, more or less. I think they kind of... they were speaking French in the original.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, they're Americans. There's French Americans or something founded, I guess.
It landed in Canada.
There you go.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Let's start with, well, of course, it did have a new variant verse that we haven't seen before, which was Presidential Campaign-y.
Presidential Campaign-y.
Which seems kind of randomly placed. Do you think, like, this, I thought, is this going to be about elections, or was this released in November?
Neither.
And then I thought with 12 Days of Christmas that, this must have come out before Christmas. No, it came out after Christmas. So it seems like this episode might have had just a mishmash of various little segments that they just kind of put together for the purposes of this cartoon.
It seems like they may have originally meant for it to air maybe around November or so.
Maybe.
Yeah, I
Presidential Campaign-y and then the Christmas thing. I mean, that'd be right about the right time for that.
It's a weird episode because a lot of the segments were already shown in like other. They did like a super episode, I guess, of episode 50 over the holidays, where they put the 12 Days of Christmas at the end, and then the party scene was also shown right on New Year's Eve, I think, of this year, as a special like super episode. It's an interesting thing. I was looking into it. I couldn't find it much on it.
Okay, so back in the 90s, they were kind of like taking little bits of this here and there and then adding it. And I could see that, like a new Animaniacs segment. You know how they would actually do it back then. Stay tuned for a new, Animaniacs section. Whatever they can get you to do on the Kids WB to stay tuned to watch a little new thing. All right. And of course, Animaniacs was so popular that you didn't necessarily have to have a new episode every week. It was everywhere, and people ate up even the reruns like crazy, so it didn't matter. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the first segment, and this is called My Mother the Squirrel. And My Mother the Squirrel was written by Tom Ruegger. It was directed by Charles Vizier. And Nathan, tell us what happens here in My Mother the Squirrel.
Okay, well, if you remember back to the Wild Blue Yonder, I think that was called. We have the Bluebird. Is that what the segment was called? I'm going to say it is.
Yeah, it was Wild Blue Yonder, I think. Yeah,
perfect. And that one, he chases after a B-2 bomber and thinks that's his mom. And this one, he realizes that it's not his mom, and instead he thinks Slappy the Squirrel is his mother.
Mama? Mama? Mommy? Mama! Now nut, Mama.
Confounded early birds, they ought to be muzzled.
Mama? Mommy!
Just like in that episode, he abandons his nest and starts chasing Slappy around. And of course, Slappy wants nothing to do with him. That is until she realizes he can break nuts. And just like in that episode, Wild Blue Yonder, he calls things eggy. So he says, eggy, eggy, broke every time he breaks the nut.
How about a nut instead?
Eggy, eggy, eggy. Hello, little brother. Hello, little sister.
Nah, not an eggy. It's a nut. And you could eat it, too, if I could just crack it open.
Eggy, eggy nut. Uh-oh, Eggy broke.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Eggy, eggy broke. Eggy, eggy broke. Eggy, eggy broke.
And they live happily ever after. And then it cuts back, and the little bird is now throwing shoes at his mother that he doesn't know is his mother.
It's his birth mother.
Yeah. And he's just like Slappy, so it's great.
This raises the whole question of nature versus nurture in this cartoon. It's a very important psychological study. And as we can see, nurture is much stronger than nature, because now this this bird has become just like Slappy and is throwing shoes just like Slappy did. Like, it's, he says, I believe, the exact same line that Slappy said at the beginning of the cartoon by throwing a shoe or something like that at this bluebird.
That's my kid who said that.
Well, when it comes to cultural references, I can't really think of much other than it was kind of cool that this cartoon had not one, but two Ruegger brothers in it. And so you had, of course, Nathan Ruegger as the voice of Skippy. And then Cody voices the little bluebird. And, I thought it was kind of cute at one point that the little bluebird actually goes up to Skippy and says, "Hello, big brother." And
yeah, that was my favorite.
Hello, big brother.
Hello, little bird.
I was like, oh, because they really are brothers. Like, that is funny. Animaniacs makes another quick return, and Skippy's just somehow getting through it. They get it for free. It keeps getting delivered. They got this commercial deal where they get free Animaniacs for life. And, I guess you got to eat it. It's either that or acorns or walnuts every day. And, why not eat some Animaniacs in between? So, Kelly, what were some of your favorite moments in this Skippy and Slappy and Bluebird cartoon?
I thought the Bluebird was really cute. And, the way he said eggy when he was looking at what kind of nuts are they? Are they walnuts?
I think they were
whatever kind of nuts they were. Walnuts, chestnuts, I don't know. I'm not all I eat is peanuts. So I'm not a cashew kind of gal. But I thought he was cute, and the way he cracked them open, and then Slappy was like, "Oh, he's pretty nice to have around." And I just thought he was cute.
Eggy broke. So Nathan, what about you?
I liked when Slappy asks Skippy if he's wearing a Jewish hat. What is that called?
Yarmulke.
I know things. I know so many things.
And Slappy?
What?
Could you tell me why there's a bird living on my head?
A bird? I thought that was a new yarmulke.
And it made me wonder if Slappy is secretly Skippy's mother, because it could be a little. Now I have this thing because they call them Big Brother and Little Brother. Maybe it's a hint. No.
That's a totally new Animaniacs canon right there.
It's a new fan theory. So.
I think that fan theory stinks.
Hey, I haven't seen Skippy's mother yet, so
well, that's true.
Even if I do, I can't prove that it's not a trick. I've seen soap dish thing.
Oh, you're not wearing kiss her. Oh, great. You can never kiss her.
Of course I can kiss her.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I can kiss who I want.
No! You can't! You can't kiss her!
Why, because she's your niece?
No, you nitwit! Because she's my daughter! And your daughter! What?
What are you talking about?
We're her parents! You and I! We're her mommy and her daddy.
I don't know what it is with cartoon, parents. Like sometimes you just never see some of them. Like, for example, like Goofy's wife. Yeah, sometimes I wonder, like, who's Skippy's mom? But I don't know. I don't think about it too much. It doesn't really matter. But
not like Ray's parents, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez. Everybody cares about that.
Yeah, exactly. It turns out that Skippy, he's nobody. His mom just left him for for some wine and is buried.
That's not true. That's impossible.
Skippy's parents have a pauper's grave on Jakku. No, I gotta. Okay, it was just a really cute cartoon. I think we can all agree that. I mean, just that bluebird was just super cute in this, and I know watching it with my wife, she did laugh out loud when that bird became like Skippy, or became like Slappy, I should say, at the very end, which was very funny.
Stay tuned. Kids WB will return. Come, Pinky.
Greetings, Persons Perusing Podcast.
Are you looking for something a little different for your Star Wars themed shows?
Then join millions of others who now proudly call themselves scoundrels.
I don't think it's millions, Taxus.
It has to be close by now. After all the word of mouth and interwebs, nothing exists in a vacuum, Dennis.
Space does.
I'm not sure what this space vacuum you're talking about is.
Never mind. So if you're looking for a unique show for news, hot space opinions, unique discussion points with our hypotheticals, or Taxus' musings with Saber Clash, then tune into Starships, Sabers, and Scoundrels with me, Dennis Keithley.
Me, Jay Krebs.
And me, your humble little Dark Lord of the Shtick, Darth Taxus. From failed bits to musical guests to dancing Wookiees, you never know who might drop by.
You really never do.
So start your engines, fire up your sabers, hold on tight, and join us.
For Starships, Sabers, and Scoundrels.
Part of the Retro Zap Podcast Network.
Let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, and that, of course, is called The Party. And The Party was written by Paul Rugg. It was directed by Charles Vizier and Kelly. This one has your name written all over it, I think. What happens? What happens here in The Party?
In The Party, the Warner siblings are hosting a party. And they send out invitations to Dr. Scratch and Sniff, Ralph the security guard, and Thaddeus Plotz.
You and someone else are invited to a dinner party this weekend at the water tower. Please wear fancy pants.
They give the indication that it's going to be super swanky and, almost like a black tie affair and everything. And Thaddeus Plotz isn't really too keen on going because it's the Warner siblings. And they tell him that, Steven will be disappointed if you don't go. And he's like, Steven will be there?
Oh, I'd love to. I really would. It's just that on Saturday, I'm having something removed.
Oh, shoot. Steven's gonna be awful disappointed. Oh, well.
Goodbye. Steven? Wait. Did you say Steven's gonna be there?
Oh, yeah. We're very close,
Oh, yeah, I'll go. And, of course, I'm watching this saying, whoa, Steven's going to be at a party? Yes, I'm going to be there, too. I can totally relate to Thaddeus Plotz because let me find my best dress and shake his hand and tell him I love all his movies. So I'm excited. Thaddeus Plotz is excited. Everybody's excited. And so then he tries to find a date for the party. And he goes through his little black book, apparently. And he's got a lot of names on it. And he starts off with, Connie Selica. Right?
I think so. I'd never heard of any of these names that he mentioned.
Oh, no, I've heard of Connie Selica. But, because I think she actually was married to John Tesh.
Oh, maybe.
I could be mistaken. It was a long time ago that
the first
these
one was
names are
Connie
relevant
Selica
to me. But because John Tesh used to be on Entertainment Tonight with Mary Hart way back in the day, so he was pretty popular or well known. And but anyway, so he starts there and goes down the list.
Minnie Riperton, please. Oh. Is Javon Gulagang in? Do you happen to know if Squeaky'll be paroled by Saturday?
Oh, I'd love to go to a party.
You can?
Oh.
Really? Wonderful. Then I'll see you Saturday. Goodbye. Plotz, you've still got it.
So everyone gets all dressed up. Ralph brings, I guess it's his wife. It's not his mom, right? It's his wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Although I would bet that his mom probably looks very similar too for some reason. I don't know.
I feel like I've seen his mom in an episode. That's why I was thinking wife, or mom. But so he brings his date, and they're climbing up the ladder to the water tower, and they knock on the door, and Yakko answers, and he say, "Who are you? Why are you here?" And he looks real sleepy. And
Huh? Who are you? What do you want?
Isn't you having a party tonight?
What? A party? Why, yes! Come in! Allow me to be the first to welcome you to our fancy dinner party.
Allow me to be the second.
I'll be the third. Here, have a napkin. And now, let's dance!
And the Warner siblings are all dressed up. Wakko does indeed have pants. He's very proud of them with his pockets and zipper that he keeps pulling up and down, making people uncomfortable, because that's not acceptable party behavior.
Do you like my fancy pants? I have 2 pockets in front and 2 on my fanny. Plus, I even got this big fancy zipper. See?
Oh, my.
And so they start dancing. Thaddeus's date comes up right behind them, and he introduces her, and then she starts dancing, and then they sit down for dinner, and it's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And Dot even says sandwiches, which is hysterical because I say sandwiches all the time too. So I think that's funny. And they're not impressed with the food at the party because Thaddeus thought it was going to be really elegant and, a nice meal. And then they don't even have anything to drink. And this is barbaric. Can you imagine eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and not having anything to wash it down with? It's awful. Like peanut butter all stuck in your mouth and everything. I can only imagine.
May I have something to drink, please?
Sorry, we don't have anything.
You don't have anything to drink? I don't have anything to drink.
So they're not very excited. And so then he's getting ready to leave. And they're like, no, Steven will be here soon. And, Steven's on his way. And again, totally relate. I'd be sitting myself down too. Like, well, Steven's coming to the party. I'm going to be right here to meet him. So they're like, oh, Steven's here. And in walks this guy who is obviously not Steven Spielberg.
I'll get it!
Still, it's a lovely party. Just wonderful.
Everyone, say hello to Steven.
Hi, I'm Steven Putner. We met on the internet.
That's not Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg? What made you think he was coming?
Well, you did the thing that
And I am upset, and Thaddeus Plotz is upset. We're all sad and upset. We have sad faces.
Was that a long way to go for a joke or what? Come on, everybody!
That's the end of it.
That's the end. Yeah, it really was kind of a long way to get to that joke. But yes, of course, that Steven, I think, is the same guy who's in the Please, Please, Please Get a Life Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the guy kind of eating automatic sandwiches on conveyor belts or however they were being served to him. It was a funny one. It was, like we said, it was written by Paul Rugg. Paul Rugg makes a quick appearance in this one too, voicing himself.
Well?
I thought I told you never to do that.
Yeah, but you never told the writers.
So then the Warners are right behind him.
No, stop.
I mean right behind him.
Oh, yes, it's true.
The other writer, that's laughing with him, I believe is supposed to be John P. McCann, who doesn't really look like him that much, but I've seen him caricatured on, I think, an episode of Freakazoid as well. And that's how they drew him in that. So there you go. It's Paul Rudd and John P. McCann just kind of laughing, and they both do their voices right there. So you can. It was nice to have them on the show. But yeah, it was a cute episode. The animation, I guess, the only thing I didn't like about this that much was how the Warners looked sometimes. Like, they looked weird. There's this part where they're first entering, and with Ralph and his wife, or I think it might have been, and Wakko's in the background, and he looks just weird. Like, his mouth is all crooked, and it just looks sloppy. It just looked weird. But other than that, I mean, it was funny. It was cute. What do you think, Nathan?
Oh, I loved it. Well, I just really liked how the continuity that they have. So like Ralph's wife from like a Christmas Plotz, right? And then they brought back Frau Hausipfeffer or whatever her name was from Drive Insaney. It was really fun. And then I liked Christopher Walken. He was a very funny caricature.
Here, have a napkin. Please enjoy. Dance. Mingle. Go meet Christopher Walken.
Hello. And William Shatner not having any friends was funny.
Now then, tell me, what makes you think your co-stars hate you?
Because they do. They're constantly sniggering, jiggering, mocking, guffawing, and yes, even spurbling behind my back.
Yes.
Did you know that Christopher Walken was in a Spielberg movie?
Okay, let me think for a second to think about which one it might have been. I can't think of which one it was. What one was it?
Catch Me If You Can.
Oh. He played Leonardo DiCaprio's dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But he had a smaller part in that, so I could see why.
But he was in it.
He was in it.
I mean, this
Yeah.
this cartoon was many years before Catch Me If You Can, but I'm circling back. Gotta make that Spielberg connection.
Now everybody has their Christopher Walken impressions and caricatures and things like that, but this was kind of before all of that. So making fun of Christopher Walken at this point, I think, would have been novel. It wouldn't have been overplayed like it kind of is today, I think. We don't like to talk about Kevin Spacey anymore, but of course he did hit one of my favorite Christopher Walken impressions on Saturday Night Live back in 97 or something with the Han Solo. Fast ship.
I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system.
Yes, indeed, if it's a fast ship.
Fast ship? You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon, right? It's the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. She's fast enough for you, old man. That sucked. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
But that I love that little sketch. Anyway, let's see, Kelly, any other moments in this cartoon that you thought were great?
When the Warner siblings told her that he had told them that she was dead, and she said that he had told her that they were dead. And obviously just trying to keep them apart from each other. And
Schnauzers!
Horsey!
Oh, how I've missed my little schnauzers. I wanted to see you again, but Otto said you were dead.
He said the same thing about you.
That's how that was funny.
Yeah, the look that she gave Dr. Scratch and Sniff was pretty funny right there. Yeah, overall it was cute. It was nothing bad to say about it, other than, just the animation just looked a little weird sometimes. But other than that, it was really good.
I also liked Joanne in that. I thought she was funny. The Mr. Plotz's date.
Where's your date?
My what? Oh, my! Yakko, I'd like you to meet my date, Joanne.
Hello! Give me a napkin, dollface. Let's dance.
She gets along with the Warners so well.
Yeah, she was like a Shirley MacLaine kind of looking girl.
Yeah,
and she was a weirdo.
I was trying to find if that was based off someone, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because all the other people like he called were like actual actors.
Yeah.
Like random, like nobodies, basically.
Well, I did look it up there, and yet Connie Selica was, or I think she still is, married to John Tesh. So you're absolutely right, Kelly. So there you are.
I am not surprised.
Yeah, this is why she's going on Jeopardy.
I know pop culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I used to religiously watch E! News, and like all my Spielberg news came from. I would spend Saturday mornings watching E! News Weekend Review and get all my Spielberg news, and I'd watch I would record Entertainment Tonight while I watched Jeopardy, because they've always both come on at 7:30 where I live, and now there's the internet, so I don't have to worry about it. But I used to record Entertainment Tonight every night, like fast forward until I saw George Lucas or Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I used to just get that VCR going around the Phantom Menace times, and just like, wait, they're gonna show a little bit of episode 1. Oh, okay. Or watch.
Yeah, I destroyed so many VCRs that way.
Watch with E! News with Steve Kometko.
Oh my gosh!
Remember
I
him?
heard that name for ages. I wonder what happened to Steve Kometko.
I think,
man, that was good stuff.
Why won't anyone say hello to me?
So the next one is called "Oh Say Can You See." And "Oh Say Can You See" was written by Nicholas Hollander. It was directed by Charles Vizier. And this is the Star Spangled Banner. And it shows the flame. The flame is back one last time. Of course, voiced by Luke Rueggers once again. And this time, the flame is, right there with Francis Scott Key. And he's witnessing the defense of Fort McHenry.
Oh, a writer. I work well with creative types. Say, if you need a hand, I'll be glad to pitch in. I've done this before, you know.
He says the Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem, of course, of the United States. And, it's not really any jokes in this or cameos from other characters. It just shows a lot of ships firing, and it looks kind of cool. And at the very end, the flame says, "Play ball." And the only weird thing about that, of course, is that he's being held by a guy with a puffy colonial shirt. So it's either Francis Scott Key went time traveling into the future to watch a baseball game with the flame. But my personal head theory is that it is Jerry Seinfeld wearing his pirate shirt at a baseball game.
But I don't want to be a pirate!
But that's basically it for "Oh Say Can You See." What do you guys think? Well, what are anything that you liked about here, this last flame cartoon? Nathan?
I'm glad they didn't do the second and third verse of the song, because it would have been much longer, and it gets a little racist, I think, in those second and third verses of that song.
I am totally lost right there. What are the second and third verses that I missed?
Oh, I mean, they don't. You never hear them, but you can look it up. He talks about like slavery and stuff like that. And
really,
yeah. So
wow.
But like, it's basically cut out of history now, right? So we don't.
Well, that is interesting. I'm going to look those up actually right now. Well, Kelly, what do you, anything that you liked in this one?
I thought that the animation of kind of animating the lyrics of the song was kind of cool when they were talking about the rocket's red glare, and you could see the bombs bursting in air, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see here. This is the 19th century version was performed on original instruments. It says, wow, there's a lot more to it. Yeah, there's on the shore,
it's 3 times as long. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'm not even going to read the whole thing because it would be boring. But, but yeah, I had no idea that the Star Spangled Banner was actually much longer. Interesting. They could have made this cartoon a lot longer. But
so we learned something.
We learned something today. There we are. Star Spangled Banner.
Hey, you guys, it's Rob Paulson here. I am so thrilled that we have the Animaniacs cast to continue to find a way to help me to get a frickin' job. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Let's go ahead and get to the last cartoon for today. It is the 12 Days of Christmas. And the 12 Days of Christmas was adapted by Tom Ruegger, and it was directed by Charles Vizier. He directed every single cartoon on today's episode. So there we are. Well, in this one, it is the Bluebird comes back at the end, and he performs at the Hollywood Bowl with the Animaniacs Orchestra. We get to see like a bunch of the characters that we have not seen this season, such as Marita and Flavio. And let's see, we have the Good Feathers are in there, and Slappy is conducting. And it might be perhaps some continuity with Three Tenors and You're Out. I don't know. But the Bluebird gets up there to sing the 12 Days of Christmas, and everything is turtle doves.
On the 12th day of Christmas, not only gift to me 12 turtle doves, 11 turtle doves, 10 turtle doves, 9 turtle doves, 8 turtle doves, 7 turtle doves, 6 turtle doves, 5 turtle doves, 4 turtle doves, 3 turtle doves, 2 turtle doves, and one more gently kicks our turtle dove.
And it's very cute. And this was based upon a time where actually Cody Ruegger came home and told his dad, Tom Ruegger, that he had a new song that they learned at school. It's called the 12 Days of Christmas, and he sang it to him, and everything was turtle doves. So I saw that online, and I was like, is that true? Like, I'm sure it sounded true, but once you have power in your fingertips, you have to use it, right? So I had to text Tom Ruegger and say, is that true that he came and was singing it after school one day? And he said, yes, he came home singing it one afternoon. And on the next day, I took him to the session to record it. So that's how it goes. So it was fresh out of the song. Cody was doing it. So that was awesome. I didn't really understand when we had the Ruegger brothers on a few months ago, back in December. Do you guys remember, like, when they were I think we were setting up, and I don't even know if it made it to the final cut. Tom was saying, okay, everybody, he's going to sing the 12 Days of Christmas right now. And Cody was like, no, Dad, no.
Wow, this is fantastic.
And Cody is prepared to sing today. Why are you doing this to me? Cody is prepared to sing the 12 Days of Christmas as a little bluebird. So I think you got to get him to do that.
But it's just a cute moment. I mean, it's just moments like this that make me say it's so cool that, Tom incorporated his kids into the series the way he did. And I don't know, it was just a cool, memorable, cute cartoon. What do you guys think? What did you like about this 12 Days of Christmas? Kelly?
It was very brief.
It's true.
I didn't expect for him to say 2 turtle doves the entire time.
Well, it wasn't just 2 turtle doves. It was 11 turtle doves and 5 turtle.
Well, yeah.
Everything was turtle doves.
Yeah, but at least when he got to 5, he got that line. He sang it the correct way.
Yes.
And dragged it out and everything else like you're supposed to with that line. But wow, it's not what I expected.
Yeah. Nathan, what about you? Yeah, Nathan, what about you?
It was very cute. I just you got so many turtle doves, I guess. What is that, 12 like factorial or something like that? It's a lot.
That's right.
I can't remember my math, but
I think you're right. I think 12 factorial is right. 12 factorial turtle doves.
Well, 12 exclamation point.
12 exclamation mark, yeah. That's factorial, I believe. And I'm not even a math minor. You should know that stuff. You don't do factorials as much.
But I think that's actually multiplying them. So I think I'm going to say I'm off on that. So what is it called when you add them up? I gotta.
Tweet at Nathan Django FT.
Let me know what it's called when you add things in a row instead of multiplying them in a row.
There we go. Get all math experts on there. And you just tweet to Django FT, not the Animaniacs, because I don't care. Okay. Well.
All right. And now for a special addition to today's podcast. Cody Ruegger recently sang this very song in Animaniacs in concert over at Joe's Pub in New York City. Let's go ahead and take a listen to what happened when Cody took the stage with Randy Rogel and Rob Paulson.
And he was played by Tom Ruegger's 6-year-old, 5-year-old son, really cute kid named Cody Ruegger, who's now an attorney and is here with us tonight. Embarrass Cody a little bit because his character sang the 12 days of Christmas. So I want him to do it again. Now, I know your voice has changed slightly. So we brought the key a little bit down, but ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bluebird as on Animaniacs singing the 12 days of Christmas, and this is Cody Ruegger who sang it.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 turtle doves, 11 turtle doves, 10 turtle doves, 9 turtle doves, 8 turtle doves, 7 turtle doves, 6 turtle doves, 5 turtle doves, 4 turtle doves, 3 turtle doves, 2 turtle doves, and 1 king-size gigantic turtle dove.
All those words.
It took a lot of practice.
Yeah. So just so you know, because Mr. Ruegger, of course, had Cody and a couple of other kids, and part of all that wonderful Animaniacs gig went to making sure that Cody graduated from Columbia University. And that's the kind of intellect we have running the country.
We're all in safe hands. All right, Cody, you got to say
And now back to our previously recorded discussion.
Well, let's go ahead and get to our water tower rating. Well, what do you guys think? Out of 5 water towers, how many water towers would you give today's episode? Kelly, let's start with you.
I think I'll go with 3.5.
Okay.
I pretty much liked everything. There were several segments to choose from, and I really did like the party and the whole Steven running gag bit.
And Nathan, what about you?
Well, I'll give it 3 water towers because I enjoyed all of them, but I mean, like the Star Spangled Banner, the Osei Kings, he was a little slow. And the animation was a little weak in the party one, but and it's probably not the best Slappy score. So it's just basically an average episode. I'll say 3.
All right. And I will give it a 3.5. Yeah, like you said, it's not a bad episode. It's kind of average, but I don't know. I'll give it 3.5 just because the cuteness of the Ruegger kids and everything puts it up there. But not quite a 4, doesn't quite get up there, but it's close. It's close. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to our poll results from a few weeks ago. Nathan, what was the question that we asked the audience?
All right. So the question was, so regardless of who voices them, which of these Animaniacs segments would you most like to return for the reboot? And the choices were Mindy at Buttons, Rita and Runt, Skippy and Slappy, or the Good Feathers. 10% voted for Mindy and Buttons, 17% voted for Rita and Runt, 29% for the Good Feathers, and 44% for Skippy and Slappy. And then you added a bunch of extra questions that had nothing to do with.
Exactly. It had nothing to do with that, but we had a second. What was our bonus question right there? Because
your first bonus side poll was: Do you want the original voice actors to return in the upcoming Animaniacs reboot? And then 96% of the people said yes. No one said no, and 4% said not sure. And then second bonus poll: do you think the original voice actors will be asked to return? And 48% said yes. 42% said no. 10% said no, and 42% said not sure. So it's a bit split on whether people thought they would come back or not.
Yeah, everybody wants them to come back, but will they? That's the thing. I'm not as optimistic as some of the audience members are right now when it comes to it. Just because I think you would think that they would announce that closer to the announcement of the series being, announced, with 2 seasons. And the original voice actors are coming back too. And of course there's negotiations and things like that. And, nothing official has been said. I know that when the announcement was first made, some of the writers from the original series said that they heard that, all the, Jess, Tress, Rob, and Maurice were all coming back. But I don't know if that's just kind of hearsay, or what, because
I think that would be the most. I would be surprised if they all come back, but that would be what I would hope for, because that's the most I could hope for, I think.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad that the people, voted for, they would most want to see Skippy and Slappy return when, Sherry Stoner has not been invited back to be a writer. So chances of her being invited back to voice Slappy are kind of low. And of course, Nathan, I really, really like Tom Ruegger's idea that he put out just seeing them 20 years later, with Skippy being this deadbeat, won't get out of the tree and just driving his aunt crazy. I think that would be just a great premise for additional cartoons, but whatever, it is what it is. We'll just have to see. Who knows? There's always a chance that whenever I put out these episodes that I'm like, there might be a major announcement, and then we'll know, but we'll see. I bet we'll find out maybe this summer. I would think. Maybe. We'll find out. Who knows? Okay, well, let's go ahead and get to the poll for this week. Nathan, what do we got?
All right, best variant verse, round question mark. I don't know. So these are just 4 random ones. Tarzan and Janie, Nova Caney, Meet Mark Twainy, and Presidential Campaigny from today's episode.
Very random, and but all new. So we have to find out which one you like the most, everybody. So head on over to twitter.com/Animaniacast or simply search on Twitter for #AnimaniacastPoll, and you can make your voice heard. All right, let's go ahead and get to some contact information. Nathan, where can people get in contact with you online?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Joey. I'm on Twitter. I've been meaning to tell you. You can find me at DjangoFT, and I hope you will follow me.
Okay, I think I do.
Okay.
I'm one of the 40-something people that follow you. So
yeah, it's I'm blowing up. So get on there while you can.
Alrighty, sounds good. And Kelly, what about you?
I'm on Twitter at YodaPrincess, YODAPRNCSS, or email Kelly@BigShinyRobot.com.
All right, and as for the Animated Cast, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we have a YouTube channel, and you can always subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, whatever podcast player you use. And folks, don't forget, we have our Animated Cast decal contest. If you leave a 5-star iTunes review for us and email us, let us know, which review you left, you can get a free decal. And of course, we have our listener survey. When we are all done with these original Animaniacs episodes, we're going to have a break and not have some new episodes to talk about for a while. So go over to survey.animaniacast.com and let us know what series you'd like us to talk about next. Is it Pinky and the Brain, Freakazoid, Tiny Toons, a combination of whatever, or, all that stuff. So head on over, survey.animaniacast.com. For anything else, you could go ahead and email us, animaniacast@retrozap.com. And speaking of retrozap.com, you should head on over there today, because when it comes to pop culture, whether it's Star Wars or Disney or Marvel stuff or superhero stuff or movies or video games or even Animaniacs like us, retrozap.com is the place to go. It has 21 different podcasts that you can listen to. If you simply subscribe to the RetroZap feed, you can get every one of RetroZap's podcasts delivered straight to your device, including this one, completely for free. Free stuff, that's always good. Anyway, for Nathan and Kelly, this is Joey saying, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
This podcast is not endorsed by Warner Brothers or Amblin Entertainment and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers logo, all names, pictures, and sounds of the Animaniacs characters or any other Animaniacs-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Warner Brothers, Amblin Entertainment, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Animaniacast unless otherwise indicated.
Good night, everybody.